Hello, good evening, Assalamu alaikum. My name is Jameel. Today, the topic of our discussion is the internal structure of city. We have seen a vast increase in number of people residing in urbanized areas in the last 2 centuries. In some researches, the internal structure of city usually refers to spatial structure as industrial and residential land uses in the city. When considering the development about an area, it depends on many fields such like to economy, industry, education, and medicine, etc. In this topic today, our main concern on these topics about the formation of cities, factors that influence the morphological structure of cities, pre-industrial internal cities, in which we discuss all about the ancient cities and their structures, today's internal structure of city and the city profile, and here you see the three city structure patterns, and we will discuss in next. Now, what is city? It is a large human settlement having administratively defined boundaries whose members work primarily on non-agricultural tasks, having extensive systems for housing, transportation, sanitation, utilities, land use, and communication. Here you see the picture of Karachi, and the density facilitates interaction between the people, government organization, and business. Now we are discussing about the factors that influencing in the morphological structure of cities. One of the main factors is transport. Transport has allowed city to expand. Here you can see the picture of Lahore World City, and you can see the metro bus system that has a separate route and served many of the millions of population of Lahore on daily basis and have high accessibility to other locations from all over the Lahore, and the roads are well planned and broad. Planning factor matters a lot. In the middle you can see the picture of Lahore Liberty Market, a well-known market in Lahore. uh, it interlinks all the important locations of Lahore from east, west, north, and south. It is a main hub of commercial and business. It is totally planned. Physical factors matters a lot, in which we discuss all about the geography of a city, location, and the topography and the climate. If we talk about the Lahore city, it is bounded on the north and west by the Shekhupura district, on the east by Wagah, and the south by Kasur district. The temperature of Lahore is average as compared to the other areas of Pakistan. Period of development is another factor that influencing, and as Lahore is a walled city and the heart of Punjab, and it is developed more compared to other cities. So it is the second largest city of Punjab and 30th in the world, according to their structure pattern as their well planned. Social, political, and economical factors and forces also matters a lot, and the trade practice also matters. Now moving towards the earliest city, it is all about the pre-industrial city, in which we study about the structure and the pattern of the pre-industrial city. And then now, one of the main and the first ancient city of the world is Mesopotamia, and it is located in the region now known for its Middle East, which includes the Southwest Asia and lands around the Eastern Mediterranean Sea. And Mesopotamia is also known for its changing succession of different areas and cities that seized control over the period of thousands of years. Humans first settled in Mesopotamia in the Paleolithic era by 14,000 AD. People in the region lived in small settlements, houses with circular pattern. Here you can see the circular pattern of the city, and basically Mesopotamia is the land between the two rivers, and the settlement is all about the circular. And by 3000 AD, the city expanded into Mesopotamia was firmly under the control of the Sumerian people. One of the first major city in the history of the world is Uruk around 2900 AD. With estimated population nearly 80,000 people, it was a center of Sumerian civilization as the first structure of city started here. It was able to grow because of advanced farming and irrigation techniques. On the right side, top picture is the settlement patterns of Babylon. It is one of the largest and the greatest and one of the most beautiful cities in the ancient world of Mesopotamia. Here you can see the gate of Ishtar Gate. Basically, it is the entrance of Babylon. It was used for religious processions as well as normal traffic. And here you can see the picture of the royal place. And here this pyramid location of a city shows the temples in the cities, and or the river behind you can see is the Euphrates river. And as you can see the systematically patterns and the grid patterns of the houses, and their roads are well planned and broad, and it shows the grid structure of the houses. And at the end here you can see the walls of the city in all the in these two pictures, as well as basically it is for defending purpose. Now, one of the important and other ancient city is Mohenjo-daro and Harappa. It is called as the Indus Valley Civilization. It was an ancient civilization located in what is Pakistan and northwest India, and covers almost some of the points and locations of India and the Pakistan. And it covers Indus Valley Civilization. Farming settlements begin around 14,000 AD, and around 3000 AD there appeared the first signs of urbanization. By 2600 AD, dozens of towns and cities has been established, and between 2500 and 2000 AD, the Indus Valley civilization was at its peak. Two cities, Harappa and Mohenjo-daro, have been excavated at the sites of Lower Indus and further upstream as well. Now we will discuss the internal structure patterns of Mohenjo-daro and Harappa, and the grid plans of the city, and the buildings structure of Mohenjo-daro and Harappa Indus civilization. By 2600 AD, Mohenjo-daro in the Indus Valley, present-day Pakistan, was built with blocks divided by a grid of straight streets laid out in perfect right angles running north and south from east and west. All the roads are well planned and was divided by the small lanes. Mohenjo-daro was the largest of many grid planned towns and villages that existed in the region. Here you can see a building systematically structured and of building and houses in which they had to live. Some of the buildings were multi-storied. There was no stone-built houses in the Indus cities. Most of the houses were built of burnt rocks. The evidence suggests they had highly developed city life. Many houses had walls and bathrooms, as well as an elaborate underground drainage system. And these cities display a well-planned urbanization system. If I talk about the city profile, it refers to the side view cross-section of an urban area. The picture in the slide basically shows the central page story of Walter Christoller. This is the main CBD zone of a city, and it is the main hub of the commercial and the business and activities, and it is the largest city. It is often known as financial district. In Pakistan, Islamabad city, Jinnah Avenue and Blue area is one of the main CBD zone. In Lahore, Firozpur Road, MM Alam and Gulbarg is one of the main CBD zones. If we talk about the zone of transition basically is all about the at the outer boundary of the CBD. The people in that area live that can afford the highland values of the central business district, and other than there the residential and outlying business districts OBD, and outskirts of the in which many of the towns and cities and the main landowners are lived here. And one of the main location is from the CBD is the industrial, in which all the commercial and the business activities are held in CBD zone. Now moving on the structural pattern of a city, one of the pattern is radiocentric city. It has a business area in its core and it's spreading in all the directions, radiate outward from a common center. Inner outer ring roads linked by radiating roads and industrial areas are interlinked spread within the residential. Moscow is one of the good example of the radiocentric city. Now you can also see the map of the Moscow, and it is the main business or hub or core center, and all the roads are outward in a radiate way, and its outer skirts had the green belts, and it totally follows and the location of the radiocentric city. Here is a layout of the Moscow city, a capital city of Russia. The city is a major political, economic, cultural, and scientific center in Russia and Europe. Now you can see the blue area. You can see the main business hub of a Moscow city, which interlinked all the residential, industrial, suburban, urban mixed, urban residential, auto urban residential, suburban residential, in all the neighborhood conservations. It is interlinked, and industrial areas are in a brownish shade. You can see the industrial areas are located in the outskirts of the Moscow city, and the city is served by an extensive transit network which includes four international airports, nine railways terminals, and one of the deepest underground metro system. It is recognized as one of the city's landmarks due to the rich and varied architecture of its 185 stations. One of the other structural pattern is the Great Iron City, and their city having straight streets crossing at right angles to create many regular city blocks. You can see the picture of a New York great patterns of housing scheme. Their houses are there, and the streets are located at the right angles from running to east to west, north to south. All the streets are broad and well planned and interlinked at the right angles. Typical form of cities built after the Industrial Revolution, and basically San Francisco is one of the best example of the Great Iron City. From aerial view, you can see the picture of a San Francisco, the grid line patterns, and it is also the San Francisco grid patterns of the cities. Now here is the map of San Francisco. You can see the grid pattern of a city. All the houses are well planned, and the business and industrial hubs are totally grid-like structures, and the streets are interlinked at the right angles. And this is shows totally the grid structure of a city. One of the most important pattern of a city is a linear city. From the word linear, you can recognize that this is a linear pattern, and all the settlements, commercial activities, business hub, and trade from other countries and cities are along this linear pattern. And it may be a water body. Majority of linear city patterns are along the water body, and you can see in this picture this is a water body, and all the settlements are here, lived here, and population expand in this direction as well as in this. One of the good example of the linear city pattern is the Frankfurt city. It is located in Germany, and in picture you can see this is a water body, and all the trades and commercial activities, CBD hubs, transition zones, and all the activities are located and settled here, and the population expand along the linear way. Thank you so much.